I do have a listing coming up, Robert.
Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the platform. I already talked to the seller and she's sold for it. And I haven't even done the listing presentation. I just talked to her over the phone. It was a referral from one of my past clients. And she says, hey, whatever you need to do, I trust you. I haven't met her. And I know her neighbor's talking about selling also as a condominium. So
Very good. So today is any of you guys doing social media marketing once you get a listing? No?
say no, Robert,
No.
I'm not.
No.
Okay. Do you? Well, how about you, Seth? Are you doing any social media marketing?
Well, if I got a listing, I would, but I'm new to this, so I don't have a listing yet. I haven't got my first listing yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'll get them.
I,
Get out there and
I,
market.
I've till now worked with investors. Sorry about that. I've till now been working heavily with investors, and it has had nothing to do with that. But I'm anxious to get my first listing. I thought I had it, and then the person I was talking to said she called her son, and her son decided to go with a friend of his. So I lost my first one. But that's how it goes. You gotta work 20 of them to get one, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I recommend you
Gotta
get into the master training as well. It'll
Yep.
spruce you up a little bit more and shouldn't lose out to friends, but it happens, of course, with everybody. So
Yep.
I'm going to go through some marketing strategies, you guys, that there's a time to market your listings and there's a time not to market the listings. And I think everybody knows, they've heard me say it enough, is I paid $25,000 to a coach to become a social media master marketers, quote unquote. And basically what it boils down to is choosing an audience and then targeting and retargeting every time you post something, that same audience. So we're going to talk about the things that I do. If you guys want, I'll do another meeting and we'll actually set up Facebook ad manager together, the YouTube ads. We got a YouTube course, Mastering YouTube, coming out. And what I call it is get free leads. Don't pay for leads anymore. But I also paid somebody to become a YouTube specialist as well. And part of the stuff you guys will see through this, the marketing presentation here, is one of the things that helps me when we talk about buyer bucket pool. Everybody remember the buyer bucket pool? We either have 100% buyers bucket pool or like a 55 and older. You're going to have maybe a 10 to 20% buyers bucket pool. A 400 square foot condo, you might only have a bucket pool of 10 to 20%, or getting into luxury homes. So I've got a $2 million listing coming up in Seattle. It'll actually be closer to 3 million, but that buyer bucket pool is probably going to be 10 to 20%. So these strategies that we're going to go through today help you to excel. If you know you've got something like a $3 million home, why on earth wouldn't I want to utilize and spend a little bit of money on that listing? You're talking about a $90,000 commission. So we're going to go over some of the strategies that Mona and I use and that I learned along the way. This course, by the way, is in our courses in the back room. And so anyways, it's up to you guys to use it. And if we want to get further ahead, all you got to do is let me know. All right. So
I have a more generic question for you while you're pulling up your screens. So if you're trying to just focusing on the listing side for a moment, most of that for, when I do that is word of mouth, it's networking, talking to people. It's like you said, I see, sort of creative ways, like what you did with the sign in Starbucks kind of thing. How are you teaching people to market to get listings in general? Right?
well, that's part of the master class. We go through a farming, we go through for sale by owners, we go through expired listings,
Okay.
go through farming territories. There is a lot of ways to market, but one of the things that I have found out through this, let me see, I'm going to stop share for a sec. One of the things that I've found out through the stuff that I've learned to do is when you market, because we're all real estate agents. We're either trying to pick up buyers or we're trying to pick up sellers, right? All that stuff gets done with keywords, meta tags, and also word phrases. in there. So when we talk about targeting and retargeting that we're going to do in a minute, every time somebody hits something in your site, they now become one of your proprietary people that have looked at your stuff. They go into the algorithm of Facebook. And so when I say retargeting, you're actually retargeting that person for everything that you do. Why are we doing that? Because we don't know why they're looking at your site. We don't know if they're looking to buy the home. We don't, maybe they're another agent looking to come over and work with you. Maybe it's a buyer that's looking for homes. Maybe it's an investor. So all of these things is we bring into the keyword. I'll probably do a keyword training. As we tie those things in, you're going to start getting some of the results that you see that Mona and I have gotten. So, but we'll talk about that in a second here. All right, so everybody can see my screen.
Yep.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about marketing strategies for listings. And again, there's a time to do marketing. What's the best way to market a house when we have the buyer's bucket pool? Anybody answer that? All right, so it's by pricing it right and putting it on the MLS. Your MLS will do all the marketing that you need to get the right buyers in there. All right. So when we have less of a bucket pool to pull out of, we do so you'll start seeing that this is a very basic class, but this will give you the framework that if we move into more of an expert type, these are the first things that you need to know, and you need to understand what it means to you. So targeted content, focus on creating content that resonates with your ideal client. A lot of people that teach social media marketing, they talk about avatars. So, and an avatar, what I like to do is with all of my stuff, I like to work around the avatar of a buyer towards another seller, towards other agents, and also outside of our MLS network. So when I am looking to do that, I can actually set parameters inside Facebook. I want to look for this group of people. Okay, and that somebody that's going to resonate with your ideal client. So if I have a $3 million listing, who am I trying to find? How am I trying to engage with a buyer for that listing? So it's going to be location. It's going to be people that have engaged in. You can narrow your even people that go on to Zillow and are looking for homes at a certain price. That could become a targeted part of your marketing. So there are so many ways to get your targeted content, but does everybody understand the targeted content? It's the people that the ideal client to buy that home. And then again, we build up those consumers, and I'm going to show you some numbers from a first ad that I did, and then I'll show you the ad and show you what we do to get that. So use storytelling to engage potential buyers. So pretty much what I'm doing is I'm marketing either a walkthrough ad, or I'm marketing an actual MLS listing. But we do video walkthroughs, and the reason why we do video walkthroughs, first of all, the consumers love it. But the next thing that we do with it, we make sure that we are getting on the front page of Google, that we're reaching out the maximum amount of people. The algorithms love videos. So you got to tie in your storytelling and engage potential buyers and sellers. You got to tie that into the best way to get ranked, the best way to get leads, the best way to get people to engage with you is storytelling through video. Okay. So then video content, use video to build trust, showcase properties, platforms like Instagram and Facebook. So you can actually, the Instagram is more of a shorter story, if you want to use that. I don't use Instagram. I do all of my advertising off of YouTube, which is Google, and Facebook. Facebook, I'm running reach ads and I'm running video view ads. And then in Google, I am just targeting people. Retargeted. We just talked about that a little bit. In Facebook and Google too, Yeah, remember, there is an actual little switch inside of your Facebook that you hit to retarget people. In fact, 6 months ago, Facebook changed the rules on that, where you couldn't retarget people for a while. So they've come back and readjusted that because you've got to stay inside of your framework. So a lot of people were targeting people outside, like for credit cards. They were targeting them every time somebody was buying a product. You ever wonder why when you're driving by, I don't know, let's say Macy's, you're driving by a mall and all of a sudden this sale stuff, or you maybe for Home Depot, you're driving by a Home Depot and all of a sudden you get a tool ad or something that you might have been looking for. That content was being done with retargeted ads that goes into the Google algorithm that shoots you that ad when you're close to something. They call it geofencing. So every time, if we build the proper contact, we build the proper meta tags, keywords, then we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to create this geofencing to where people might be driving by your house. Maybe they were looking for a home. It's going to pop up an ad if we're using the retargeting ads right. And postcard campaigns, that goes without saying anymore. We send out postcards. I'll send out postcards for my open house in the neighborhood, and I'll also walk the neighborhood on Wednesday before the open house and hand them an invitation to come visit us. All right, so we're gonna go dive in a little bit deeper here. Social media targeted market in the context of real estate involves creating and distributing content that is specifically designed to appeal to a particular audience or demographic. The approach helps real estate professionals maximize their online presence and generate leads more effectively. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to identify our client avatar. And what you do, define your target audience based on demographics, interests, behaviors, and location. Most people that are putting stuff into Facebook, putting stuff into to Google, they're not putting in locations, which is horrible because it'll drive. Seattle known for. Seattle is a huge city. It's more of a tech city, right? So I can actually build my client avatar, people that were looking to move to Seattle or maybe looking for a job in Seattle. I could attract those too through defining who my audience is and the location is. And all of this stuff, it goes outside of your MLS, you guys. It's not staying inside of your MLS. For example, first-time home buyers. If you have a lender partner, I guarantee every one of them are running first-time home buyer ads right now because every state has something special, for first-time home buyers. Retirees, families with young children. When would I use a retiree? Maybe it's in a 55 and older community. Maybe it's downsizing. If I've got a smaller home, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe it's a 1-floor home, a single floor. All of these things you can use to define who your client is, and you can put inside of the ad itself. So you're drawing that audience in. Okay. And then the Facebook ideal for targeted advertising, reaching a broad audience across generations. There's another important part of not just narrowing it down. Let's open it up to people. But again, knowing who our avatar is, we may do that, we may not. YouTube. So we use effective walkthroughs and educational content when we are putting stuff on YouTube and Facebook on the video views. And I'm going to show you a walkthrough here in just a minute. So location targeting, focus on specific neighborhoods, regions to attract buyers and sellers. And again, how do you want to attract them? You want to attract them by those who are looking inside of Seattle? You can. Or you want to attract people that are in Seattle already looking for a home? You can. You want to add an age group? You can. Just about any demographic that you want to target, you can target. And the more money you put in, it'll reach all those targeted efforts. Lookalike audiences, target users similar to existing clients or followers. This is really important to to understand who your client is, and you want to target anybody that's looking for a home in your criteria worldwide. You want to make sure that that is inside of your ad and your ads. So the way that you do that is we use high quality visual. So, it could be pictures, it could be a static ad, it could be video walkthroughs, neighborhood spotlights, and market updates. If you want to dominate a neighborhood, you would actually make a website that has that community inside of it and all the things they can do, the schools, the rankings so these are all the things that you can do to draw more people to your listings. All right. All right. So the first one we're going to go now to, I'm going to stop the share here. Share. There we go. So I'm going to show you an ad and I'm going to show you the results of the ad.
Hi, I'm Mona London with RXB Realty, and today I am in South Park, the fabulous, trendy area of Seattle. This fantastic home is located at 1053 South Southern Street, Seattle, Washington. It is close to downtown Seattle and SeaTac Airport and super easy access to highways. Come on in. This is an exceptional property because this home comes with 2 turnkey ready-to-rent properties. The main floor, main house has an open living room, vaulted ceiling, wood floors, and magnificent woodwork. Even the stairs are beautiful. A new air conditioning unit keeps the temperature perfect. This kitchen is just a dream. Skylights, live edge open shelving, slate floors, whitewashed tile walls, and more cabinetry than you know what to do with. The huge island screams party. There is a walk-in pantry and pot filler, access to deck and front patio. Choose which patio you prefer for morning coffee, afternoon tea, or choice of beverage. Hey, it's always 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Do you have a furry loved one? Well, they have their own water bowl filler as well. Check out the lighting throughout the home. It is so artistic and beautifully done. The main floor, main house has a bedroom which is currently being used as an office, walk-in closet, and there is a full bath with jetted tub. Laundry is also on the main floor. The upstairs master suite is simply fantastic. Such a unique space, so much light. Wait till you see the 5-piece master bath and closets galore. The deck outside is accessible from the living room and the kitchen. Enjoy a barbecue or a bird's eye view of your Zen garden. Now for the additional 2 properties. These are both being offered turnkey. The lower level apartment with eat-in kitchen, living room, 3/4 bath, and bedroom, plus laundry. The detached unit with cool industrial finishes, loft bed space, eat-in kitchen, and 3/4 bath. Now go ahead and start renting. The addition of that income is a game changer. The garden is set up with small vignettes, separate areas to give privacy.
Okay, so that was, I don't need to play the walkthrough. Based on what we just talked about, why don't everybody, I'm going to just go in order. If you're paying attention to the video, what I wanted to know is what keywords would you be using to advertise?
Location,
Go ahead, Mike.
location,
Okay, location. What more would you put in location?
neighborhood,
East.
Neighborhood. Okay. Martin,
access,
what's that, Sal?
easy access to freeway, airport.
Okay. Martin, you muted.
I don't know.
You weren't paying attention to the video, Martin?
Yeah, I was watching it.
Okay. Seth, give me a keyword or meta phrase or a phrase, keyword phrase.
I'm like Martin, but I wasn't taking notes. So I would do something related specifically to the house. It's such like a quaint, style, designed, comfy house. I would figure out a word related to that.
Okay. Frank,
Gourmet kitchen.
gourmet kitchen. Ramiro,
Yeah, gourmet kitchen and then the art woodwork throughout the house.
art deco.
Yes,
Good. Michelle?
exactly.
The renters, the rentability spaces. Or
Airbnb.
ADUs. Airbnbs
ADUs.
or ADUs. Multi-generational potentials.
Multi-generational house. Keep going. You're on a roll.
I like that they updated it and kept all the charm, you know, like they put in the barn doors for closets and for doors and stuff, but at the same point, it's really, you know, you get the old feel, but yet you got the new at the same time.
Okay. Very good. Mike, anything else?
No, I had the question, is it necessary to narrate, but all of the keywords answers that question? I was wondering if a video would be sufficient, but it sounds like not. You need to have the audio.
Either that or you got to build the story into it. It's much easier to do with audio than it is without the audio.
Yes, yes.
Because some of the things, so the rentability of it with the ADU and DDADU, does everybody know what a DD is? It's a detached dwelling unit. That these kids that own this place are making $9,000 a month on the Airbnb part of the home and living in the top portion. Second thing is, you saw we put a map in there on purpose for the location, the proximity to the airport, and also it's 5 minutes from the stadium down there. So third thing is that it is remodeled. All of the stuff that Mona was highlighting, I want to get all of that stuff into my meta tags, my keywords, and my keyword phrases. That's what draws the people from the outside coming in. And the other thing too, when I'm putting together my remarks in the MLS, I'm putting as many of those keywords in as I can as well. Because believe it or not, your MLS is also doing some SEO stuff for you as well. Okay. So that's why I show the video. We got to start getting in the frame of mind. What's a buyer? What's our buyer avatar? You know, how about another one? Entertainment. I mean, they have 3 different decks. They had a fire pit out in front of the place. They've got a chef kitchen. They got a nice wide open patio and kitchen, and so maybe it's an entertainer, maybe an entertainer's home. So now that we have who would buy it, give me some audiences that we don't want to target for that home.
First time buyer.
First time home buyer. Great. What
Empty
else?
nester, downsizing.
Empty nester, downsizing. What else?
Single people.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure if I'd go with that. Remember, a single person can buy if they just want the income on the property, right? The $9,000 covers the payment. That's what most people are looking to do. So it actually would fill in for a single person. How about you, Seth?
I was
What
gonna
audience?
say, but I think someone said empty nester. I was gonna say someone elderly, up in age.
Yeah, that was
Absolutely.
the direction I was going. So how many bedrooms was it again? What did I miss on the bedrooms?
What's that?
How many bedrooms was it again?
They've got 2 inside of the main house, and then they've
2.
got a dwelling unit down below, and they've got a detached dwelling unit out back. So that'd make it a 4-bedroom, 4-bath.
Okay.
Martin, who else wanted to attract? Who don't we want to attract in that video?
Flippers.
First time home buyer,
Okay.
maybe a family, a lot of kids.
We don't want to track that, or we do want to track that?
Well, it seems more like an investment property, you know?
Could be, or it could be multi-generational where they put mom and dad in the detached.
Oh, yeah,
dwelling,
yeah.
put
That's
kids
big right
down
now.
below.
That's very big out here too.
So that multi-generational in Seattle's starting to move. Pretty fierce. How about people that don't want to live in the city? I mean, that thing is bucking up right against Seattle. I mean, it's in Seattle Square. So the other thing it didn't have does not have a garage. It has a carport. Maybe somebody wants a garage.
Mhm. No garage, yeah, it's a big deal to some people.
Okay. How about somebody that wants a big yard? Sorry about that, you guys. It doesn't have a big yard. Maybe somebody wants grass. It doesn't have grass. Does it accommodate pets well? All of these things we need to be thinking about when we're listing a property if we're going to do some advertising with it. That's the most important thing that we can do to when we start building ads is know who the target audience is to maximize the money that we do. So are there any questions on keywords, on phrases, meta tags? Any questions on that, you guys, at all?
When it comes to the video, is there a recommended length that it should be time-wise?
Well, we're actually going to talk about that in 2 seconds here, Michael. Well, we'll get to that
Okay.
for you. So let's condense it down. So we want a targeted audience, and then we want to target advertising towards that audience. When I am doing my meta tags, when I am doing my keywords, when I'm doing my keyword phrases, I'm tying it all in together between Facebook and also Google or YouTube, right? All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and reshare and get back into the stuff here. So the marketing for Facebook video that I pay $25,000 for is actually in our back room in our training center, training portal. You can go back there and he'll help you get an account set up. Before you start doing a targeted audience in your SEO, let me help you with the first one or maybe two on there. But those of you that are interested in becoming more of a marketing wizard, that this course is back there for you. So we want to use QR codes as much as possible, right? Because it's so user friendly. It'll take it to the house. Maybe it'll take it to a sign up page to look at the house. Maybe so we use a QR code for our buyer explainer. So you want to start getting used to using QR codes. QR codes, I have a QR code generator if you want to make it more customized. For those of you who have the Canva accounts, inside the apps, there's a QR code generator there that you can use when you're building ads. My wife and I we spend a little bit of money on marketing for homes and set the flyer. We've all gone into homes and seen flyers, information sheets, and all that stuff, right? This is a couple of homes that we've sold with the actual 4-color 4/4 printing. The other thing that for the Facebook and also YouTube, one of the important things that you can do is create a thumbnail. And inside your thumbnail, Google is using that to rank you. That's probably your biggest part of getting on the front page is what is the information on that thumbnail. Because it's going to target a location and it's going to put you on the first page if it's an appealing thumbnail on there. And then obviously the video walkthrough, we have this posted outside on the sign. We also have flyers on the inside where somebody can hit that QR code and go into the home and look at the home, the walkthrough online. All right. So let's take a look at why do we do all the stuff that we just talked about? And you guys, sorry, I'm going fast. I'm trying to condense this into an hour. And so I think probably I'm going to just separate it out and have a Facebook group where we go and just set up an account for you. And then we set up your ad manager and all that stuff. And then when you start putting stuff in it, let me help you with the SEO and the keywords. So the beautiful thing about when you do an ad right and you got the right meta tag, a lot of people, when they go and they put something into YouTube, they're not putting in anything to do with the SEO. They're not putting in keywords. They're not putting in targeted areas. There's no limit on how many words you can stick inside of that thing. But you want to make sure that the stuff that your avatar is looking for, you absolutely want it to be inside of those descriptions when you're putting it into Facebook or YouTube. All right. And then when you do that, you can see here, every one of my homes gets published on the first page of Google. All right. So it's important that we know how to do this together. And it's important that, and again, when do I use this most of the time? It's when a home is outside of the bucket or it's a luxury home. I always come back to marketing this property. And I think I told you guys we spent $600 on marketing for a luxury home. That's $200 for the Facebook reach ads. It's $200 for the video view ads and $200 for Google and YouTube. And that doesn't hurt to get us on the first page either. So let's see what we get. And the results that I'm going to show you, this is the very first ad after I became a master marketer that I used to get. Before I get to that, I'm going to stop sharing again. Is anybody doing boosting in Facebook for ads? Seth, you are?
Yes, but I haven't done it specifically for this, but I've been doing it for marketing of property management stuff. So yes, but I have not
How's
had
that
good-
working for you? Oh,
Not
property,
very good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody, so in the old days, I had a lender that would give me $500 to boost my listings or to do whatever. If I wanted to recruit people, he'd do that. $500 is a lot of money, you guys. And we would get 100, 200 people looking at the home, but it never amounted to anything.
Yeah.
Then I went and go ahead.
I was gonna say I had the same experience. I've run it for 2 months and I boosted it for 2 months. I could see that people have looked at it and stuff like that. In the end, I got one phone call, one true, real good phone call off of it that may or may not turn into something. We've still been talking. So
if you do that again and we do a video, maybe even just an explainer video, right? And your reach ad, you can just have a static picture in your reach ads. Then on YouTube, you post that thing on YouTube and you put the same amount of money that you were boosting into it. Watch what happens. So he was spending $500 for me and I'd get, 200 to 300 people looking at the home, but never amounted to anybody looking at the home, never amounted to anything selling on the home. So what I'm going to show you next is the very first ad that we ran after that. And then I'm going to talk about the numbers that I'm getting today when I run ads. So there we go. So if you've been boosting, stop boosting. Reach ads are better than boosting. All right. So you can see the home that this is the very first home we listed after becoming a marketing. So my video views, the very first one on the through plays. So that's telling me how many people watched the whole video. This video was 5.5 minutes long. And how many people do I have watched the whole entire video? 11,240 people watched a 5.5 minute video. Michelle, how many minutes is that?
55,000 plus.
55,000 divided by how many hours is that? So that's result. And this is off again, my Facebook for the video views. Down here, this doesn't include the YouTube. So, and then my reach ads. So the reach ads, same thing. 65,536 people looked at this video. We go over to the impression side of it. Impressions, 149,000 people. The number of times the through ads, our content was sent to buyer's screen because of past searches. So the impressions have to do with the targeting and retargeting. And remember, I spent $600 on this ad. How does that sound, you guys?
Well, it sounds like a lot if you were just throwing stuff out there, but since it's all targeted, it makes sense.
4 homes that we've sold that were kind of outside of the market conditions. One was more of a luxury house, and we started at 1.25 and ended up selling for 1.45. It came from a couple outside of our MLS that lived in Vermont. They had their realtor come out and do a Facebook video walking through the home and went ahead and bid on the home and bought the home without even looking at it or walking inside of it. And Martin, Camano Island. We did one out in Camano Island, same thing. The lady bought it from Sacramento. Sal, you could have been your deal there. A lady from Sacramento bought it sight unseen because of that video. Had her real estate agent come and look at it too. So it's happened 4 different times, you guys, just by knowing how to spend the money and what to do.
So do you have a preferred, is it better, Google Ads better, YouTube better, Facebook better? Where's the preferred place to spend the money?
All of them. I split it up equally. And the reason why I do that, because I'm getting maximum results. Algorithms love it when you're hitting multiple platforms instead of just one. So they all work together. So if I'm going to do $300, I'm going to put what? 100 on each. Reach ads, video views, and YouTube. Make sense?
Yep.
So we've got these stuff built into the training portal. I am willing to help you guys with. Does everybody have a YouTube channel? Is there anybody that doesn't have one that would like a YouTube channel?
No.
Seth?
Yes,
I'll set one up. Just never had a reason to.
All right. We've got a course on that too that we can put inside of our courses. Is there anybody else that would want to set up a YouTube channel?
I do. I think I hit a roadblock in the geographic verification from Google, so I don't think I have one.
All right.
I would like one.
Okay. So I am going to. Are you guys willing to spend like 3 hours on one session and all of us set up a Google channel together?
Yes.
A
Yes,
YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay. And is anybody use, so Seth, you have an ad manager account set up, right? If you're doing boosting?
For Facebook, yeah.
Okay. Anything for Google?
No, nothing I know of.
If we do 2 separate meetings, one we'll build a YouTube channel and then the other one we will set up Facebook. Is everybody interested in doing a little bit of Facebook advertising? Again, do I do it for every listing? Absolutely not. If I got 100% buyers bucket pool, I know the price is going to bring me 100 people into the open house. I don't do advertising. My luxury homes, always. My homes that I put on that are outside of our bucket pool, I do as well because I want to draw people from outside of our MLS and our syndicated areas. And I do not launch the advertising in the first 3 days while it's on the hot sheet. Why don't I do that? Because
You have
remember,
the
it's
hot
being
sheet.
syndicated. What's that?
You already have it on the hot sheet, so why
Well,
spend twice?
When it's on the hot sheet, what does that mean? What's it doing?
The MLS is already sending it out there to people. It's already being advertised.
Yeah. So I don't know. In Seattle, we have 1,800 places that our MLS syndicates to. Like Zillow, Trillia, Realtor.com, I mean, all that crap too. But I wait until after the open house before I run targeting and retargeted ads. Okay. So are there any questions about marketing and getting results? Any questions about when you should do it, when you shouldn't do it? Because I'm telling you guys, there's a whole huge luxury market out there. Sotheby's has a lineup on it. I don't know why none of our agents go after them, but I'll tell you what, in Seattle, I'm starting to go after them. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I was just gonna circle back on length of the video and who does the editing of the video.
We use a professional. If you call your local college,
Yep.
they all have production departments in there, and they will come out and shoot a video for you, at least in the Seattle area. They'll shoot a video for you, and what you got to do is write a letter of recommendation to their teacher. So in Seattle, I can get it done for free. Do I do that now? No, I don't. I actually pay somebody money to come out, film it, do a drone shot with it, and edit it. That was my wife in the video. She obviously does the walkthroughs. I think I had told you guys that home in Seattle that we sold on Columbus Day, we did a walkthrough video on that, and we had to edit it 5 times and get the imperfections out of it. And I think I'd also told you, we didn't get the amount of money that we thought. We didn't get as many offers as we thought we would on it. Well, then you go back and start thinking that, oh my God, we had to edit that video 5 times to get the imperfections off of it. So, buyers see that. That home needed some work. It was beautiful, had a beautiful view, but it needed work.
So if you wanted to
we-
find somebody to do a video for you, what's your search for? How do you search online for somebody locally to do it?
The photography and videography. Where are you at, Seth, again?
Las Vegas?
I might have somebody for you.
Okay.
And Martin, if you ever want to use it, I can turn you on to our guys, but you might be, well, I don't know up there, but so anyways, that's the beauty of marketing. I will go ahead and set up a class to get YouTube channel started, to get them set up right. It'll take us 3 hours because we do a little bit of SEO while we're setting up the site itself. And then I'll do another one where we actually are setting up the ad manager, and then we're starting to set up our targeting audience. I mean, you guys understand, you can get buyers leads from this if you want. You can get seller leads. This isn't just one dimensional on listing of homes. It's just, remember, it's the SEO, it's the keywords, it's the meta tag, it's the keyword phrases that we're going to use to target those areas. All right. And then I have a company that we're trying to work a deal out about geofencing. Does everybody know what geofencing is?
Oh,
So you can take a community or you can take an area and let's just say it's Camino Island up there. Everybody that has searched for a home or looking to buy a home, that the geofencing will scrape it and bring it into your world. And if they put their phone number and their email into anything, you get that as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful way. And now that it's tied to AI, they're giving us a lot of proprietary information we probably shouldn't have, but it's part of the deal now. If you look for a home in the internet, you're basically giving them permission to use your stuff. So that's coming alive as well. I will send out the PDF slides to everybody, and I will get these new classes set up probably the first week in April before Easter, because we're starting to move into selling season everywhere, right? Any questions I can answer?
One about video length, is that property dependent?
If you keep the right content in there, Mike, like I said, we had 11,240 people watch that entire 5.5 minute video.
Nice.
So I think we thought it was too long, but you know what? The numbers say we're nuts. We're wrong. I think a 3 to 5 minute video on a walkthrough, but sometimes you have a huge home and there's no way to do it.
Sure.
And that, especially if you want to show locations and maps and drone shots, it's impossible to do. So it's a good question. Anybody else have any questions? Frank, do you have a YouTube channel? You do, right?
Yeah,
Are you using it?
not really. I'm working with a local marketing company but we're slow going and getting things going, mostly because of my schedule. But ultimately, once we get things ironed out, I'm going to let them deal with it. That's why I'm dealing with them, because I don't want to deal with it.
What are they charging you?
It's right now we're doing like a really, what's the word I'm looking for, informational based website for me that's going to cover all the things that I deal with. And
Are they making a funnel site for you?
well, you know what, we want to, the website's the first thing, and then once that's done, then we're going to sit down and talk about what we're going to do as far as weekly, monthly content. So
All right. Very good. So he's
So-
getting there.
He kind of read my mind. I was going to ask, I don't have a website either. So if you're going to do the YouTube channel, is the place to start by getting a website, even if it's a one-page informational website?
Everything, yeah. So what you want is you want a CRM. You preferably, our guy Zishan, for the programmer, he he's got a company that'll build sites for you guys. And it can be as elaborate as you want it, or it can be, he's a lot cheaper, trust me, than the outside market.
Who is that?
Programmer, we call him Z.
Z?
Yeah, but he,
Is that how I look
he
him up on Google?
no, you'd have to get in touch with them through us.
So, well, so
Right.
if you could send me his information, yeah. And what CRM do you recommend? I've had several people recommend different ones.
Well, the one we use is Agent CRM, and it's high level. But there's so many things that you can do just inside of your Facebook and your YouTube. And I mean, because you can put in informational content where they got to fill it out and it automatically gets sent to you. You can also send back a reply off of that. So, well, before anybody spends any money on websites, this and that, let us get the account set up and let me show you what it'll do. And then from there, you can decide. What last thing I want is somebody going investing a ton of money into this thing without understanding what they're investing in. So everything that we teach here is to try to teach you to go out and get your own leads for free. That YouTube channel that we'll set up. So I've got 2 different YouTube workshops. So this just goes step by step and what you need to do to set up that's why I'm saying it'll take 3 hours to set it up. But when we do this stuff, we set it up right so that we're going to yield results out of it. It's not Parker penned but you can just see here that it's just a step by step. Yeah, the tools where you can get stuff if you want. Yeah, TubeBuddy if you want to get ranked higher. There's other things. So anyway, we've already got these courses that are ready to go, and we are putting them inside of our. We already got the Facebook one in there. We plan on putting the YouTube one in there in the next couple weeks, but it's better to do it with a class so that we're actually building stuff with a purpose.
Count me in
And
for the class.
what's that?
Count me in for the class.
You got it. And we'll do YouTube first, you guys, because it's harder to build out than Facebook. Does that sound fair? Because we want them to work together, and then we'll do Facebook after.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
All right.
Yeah, I want to be a part of it.
Okay. Hopefully a lot of people want to be a part of it, but that's all I've got for you today. And I try to rush through, and I'll send you out the slides so you can actually read and what stuff does. But most important thing are knowing who your audience is and knowing what you want to get out of your audience. And then we're using words, keywords, and I'll even show you a place where, like for $5, they'll help you pull out keywords that'll get you ranked in there. So anyways, but sorry that it seemed to me to be I was just trying to throw too much information for an hour long class, but everybody gets the idea, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we want to do, because everybody should be getting these results, and it'll help you sell homes and make more money. We are right now at a 50-50 in Washington, and a 50-50 between buyer and seller market. The more the interest rates come down, we're going to move probably into a strong seller's market by the end of the year. So we want to have our tools and our artillery up and get ready for that so that we are attracting listings. And is everybody on the map? The new website, the Easy Listing Specialist, find an Easy Listing Specialist.
I am.
Yes.
If you're not, you need to get on that thing, because we are doing some advertising to draw people to that map. And those leads are free. But you got to make a case of why they're going to call you versus they're going to call somebody else, because that map's going to fill up pretty quick.
What are you
All right.
referring to when you say the map? You're talking about on your website?
Yeah. Again, if you go through the training Seth, I got a new training starting next Tuesday. It's at 1:00 Eastern time. Yeah, you want to be in that thing, because that'll be the first thing we do, is make sure you get on that map. So, all right, you got any other questions I can answer? Ramiro, how does that work for you? Good?
Works great.
All right.
Going back to the walkthrough videos, would you do that on an older home that hasn't been updated?
Depends on who
I-
you're targeting.
I would do it on all, Michelle, you know, we do it for all of them.
All of them, okay.
Yeah. All right, you
This is a
guys.
family home. It's right across from an elementary school, so it would be for young families. But
I think it
Right,
depends on
right,
who you're
you-
targeting. I sell those homes to investors, and if you
Yes.
target it and you're honest about it, investors look at the MLS, they look at other things, and I've sold them that way, so I say yes.
it's someone who's gonna want to do a lot.
Well-
It has a lot of potential, a lot of good, strong bones, great neighborhood, a lot of pluses, but it definitely needs some updating, some TLC.
All right, you guys, I gotta run. I got a meeting at 2:00. I forgot
Thank you.
about.
All right, thank you,
Thanks,
Robert.
everybody. We'll get
Another
those
one.
things set up for you. Take care, everybody.
Take
Right.
care.
Good
Bye.
weekend.
Take care. Bye.